And this is the first time people have been asking, we're supporting you. All the faculties are coming from the Medicine Jedi Academy, and people are like, what is Medicine Jedi? What is the Medicine Jedi Academy? So this will be our first time to really address who are we and what are the program. So the program is really called the Medicine Jedi Training Retreat and Integrative Program, and we call it MJTRIP. So it's a Medicine Jedi trip, and it's a journey really for a lot of trainees. Their journey is going to be like a burnout physicians and scientists to a Medicine Jedi, right? And the goal is really to heal ourselves and get a Jedi training. So the current medical system really give us tremendous stress, and because what they're using is very linear view of our health, of our disease, of our life and death, and the view is very linear. And because the linear thinking, they limit themselves in a lot of ways and getting things more complicated and more complicated than necessary, and then starting to limit themselves. So the whole Jedi training is about non-linear and multidimensional training. So that's really the goal. And also through this training, we're going to prepare our trainees for the next few years or the next few decades. Is about a big change on this earth. And what we're starting to see this year is there will be more natural disasters and more pandemics coming, and all our trainees will be really well prepared after this whole program. You will not be confused like what we're happening right now. And so the clarity and preparedness. So there are 3 paradigm shifts of this Medicine Jedi Academy. One is we're going shifting from disease care to health care. And really, we're not limiting ourselves to disease management, as most of what medicine is doing to people. And from data-driven to evidence-driven. And from linear to multidimensional healing. So people ask us, what is Medicine Jedi, right? And I don't know when you first heard this, what words coming to you, right? So I'm going to see if I can just share my screen with you. What is Medicine Jedi? Let me see. Okay, so Medicine Jedi, the other day I was just talking to one of my previous students who is now doing the residency at the hospital, and he was talking about, even though we call those our medical heroes, but all of them are very scary during the pandemic. What they're scared is about in the hospital, whether they're going to contract the virus and pass on to their families, and all kinds of fear. So as a Medicine Jedi, you will be an invincible doctor. By invincible is that you are physically and mentally resilient, and with no fear of, afraid of being, being sick. And you will have strong immunities and to handle all kinds of disease like COVID. And that's just an example like what invincible is. And even though you do not relying on the hospital and government to give you protection, and that's what happened to a lot of doctors these days, and there are so lack of equipment, but that's caused a huge amount of fear. So a Jedi Medicine Jedi will be very different, have very different feelings around those conditions. And the second thing is a Medicine Jedi is an intuitive doctor. So you will know exactly what treatment is best for your patient. right now, for example, in this pandemic, all the hospital have been asking a lot of my physician friends and my students about the treatment, and no one's clear what treatment is. All they told me is, this is a list we can try. We just try one, and if one works, that's great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And the patient basically are toxified with one medicine treatment after another because they don't know which one will work, basically. And that's so confusing with the current medical training. So as a medicine Jedi, you will not be confused because you have this intuitive gift developed, and you will know exactly what treatment, what healing method is the best for that patient. And then because you have this multidimensional information, like Deborah mentioned, about that patient, and that clarity is what you get as a medicine Jedi. And the third thing about medicine Jedi is you are a self-sustaining doctor. What this mean is you will know how to take care of yourself. Right now, all the doctors, they want to take care of themselves, but they couldn't, right? And as a medicine Jedi, you will have freedom in your time, your time freedom, your financial freedom, and your bravery, that you have no burden to take off from your work, to sufficiently and efficiently to recharge without waiting for the hospital or government to come up with some way to revitalize you. It is not in the hospital system. It's not to their interest, to give you that and give the patient that. And the corporation have their own interest of things. So as a medicine Jedi, you will develop your own ability to self-sustaining and self-care, not relying on the external hospital and government. So, and medicine Jedi has 12 traits. And when you think about the medicine Jedi, or think about just Jedi in general, you will think about being mindful, being purposeful, and composed. In whatever chaos situation, you will be composed and be able to focus on the priorities with clarity. And you're placid, wise, magic, emphatic, justice, and you're detached. You're not attached to something that will block you from moving forward. And you'll be multi-dimensional being, and you're invincible. So all these traits will be a result of this training program.
Well, you're saying this is the goal for each person that goes through the program.
Yeah, when you graduate from this program, you will be certified as a medicine Jedi, and these are the traits you will develop. You probably have some already, but you're not, self-aware or sufficient enough to practice and become like a daily thing in your life. So, and these 12 traits correlate with the 12 steps of training process. Like each month, we're going to focus on one area to train you. So for the first month, it will be all about mindfulness. And you will be so clear why we are like holding our breath all the time and cannot slow down our life. After that, you will totally, be different, and you know how to relax, and you will know how to script your life, right? And the blueprint of your life. And you will be given various tools of relaxations. And after this training, all trainees will be able to relax in any stressful situation and feel composed and grounded in the midst of any chaos in the future. You will see a total chaos, this 2020 is just the beginning. So each month you will go out one weekend to have a retreat. And for example, for the first month, you will be, during the retreat, weekend retreat. I will talk more about it. And you will be given all kinds of relaxation techniques, right? And you would, like Deborah mentioned, meditation is the key, right? Meditation, yoga, qigong, and all these methods. Let's see. And we also have faculties who will introduce Reiki, right, and qigong practice. So the second month, you will work on your envision and expectations, and you will get super clear about why we all become slaves of deadlines and life distractions, and we will know how to master the envision and expectation to live a purposeful life. So after this training, trainees will all discover or remember their own life purpose, why they're coming to this earth. This is like, I work with so many clients and they all forget. And so discover the blueprint of their original vision and moving forward with undiluted positive expectation without distraction and derailing from your past anymore. So the second month during the retreat, we will have faculties coming to do, introduce and experience hypnosis. And for example, we can do frequency shift and we can do dream control. A lot of information come to your dream and we don't know how to harvest it. The moment I wake up, I lost it, right? And you can control it and you can ask all kinds of questions. Your higher self will give you the answers through your dream. And you have to remember it. A lot of people have it, but they forgot. And we'll train you how to harvest those information. So that's the second month. And the third month, we are going to train about duality and unity. So you will get super clear about why most people suffer, especially in the medical field, suffer from moral injury in the very divided reality. And which is necessary, but unnecessary suffering is not required. How to feel peace by seeing the unity behind the divided chaos, which we all experienced this year. And after this training, all trainees will know how to not to take sides. Right now, everyone's jump on to like take sides in this, against that against this, right? And you will have full understanding of duality and the unity in any situation. It's like total clarity. Right now, people are so confused. So in that third month, and there are faculty coming to give you 12 chakra healing of your body. And you probably heard of chakra, and if you haven't heard of, you can just Google, it's all information there. But many people heard about 5 chakras. But we're going to introduce 12 of them. And the other extra, you heard about 7, but the other extra 5 is super critical for being an intuitive medicine Jedi for the future of medicine, because that's what you get so into the multidimension. So the 4th month, we will focus on intention and attention. So trainees will be getting super clear about why we all had a hard time focusing sometimes, and they will know how to master intention and attention. So after this training, you will have clear your intention and full control of your attention, not to be distracted. And you will have clear boundary and have your filtering system so that you will filter out all the influence that does not support you and drain your energy, and only allow the information that support you, give you energy and support your purpose. And you can do that, right? During that month, we will have a retreat and we'll talk about telepathy communication. And you will be like, wow, this is science fiction. No, it's for real. And not just human, and it's like interspecies telepathy. You can talk to your animal pets, you can talk to your plants. And I'm super excited about that. So the next month, the 5th month, we're focusing on collateral damage and collateral beauty. And you will get super clear about why people get disturbed by what's going on in the world. Right now, you look around, turn on the news, you will get upset and disturbed. And after this training, you will not get disturbed. Doesn't mean you are not compassionate. You'll still be compassionate, but you will have total clarity and look at the things very different than everyone else. And you will not get upset, and you will appreciate the collateral beauty in the collateral damage, and fully appreciate and become I would say, a media influence proof. Right now, if you turn on the media, and you will be influenced all kinds of information, and you'll get upset. And after that, you will not. And you will have a clear arrow view of very complicated matter. And you will feel so peaceful after you viewing them. So during that month, we will have a retreat, and we will focus on the topic of death, and which was got so wrong in this 3-dimensional linear thinking. And we will have faculties talk about really what meaning about death. It totally will transform you, how you look at disease, how you look at medicine. And faculties, even with their own near-death experience. So you will totally amazed by that. So the month after that, the 6 months, will be focusing on intelligence and consciousness. And this is a huge, huge topic. So you will get super clear about why we tend to, as a medical profession, Western medical profession, we overthink, we overanalyze, and get things unnecessarily complicated. And this is how our medicine is still continue to that path. You get more and more complicated, more drugs, more procedures, and more paperwork, and to the point that you will pretty much right now is going to surrender to artificial intelligence very soon. And a lot of people are not aware of that, but it's coming very quickly. And after this training, trainee will also learn how to gain access to both super intelligence and super consciousness. If you don't know what it is, don't worry, you will know. And for the future medicine, this is so important. If you're not going to be replaced by AI, you have to know this. After this training, you'll be prepared, really for the age, how to be a real doctor, not replaced by a robot or AI. And during this month, we will have a retreat. We have a fantastic faculty focused on herbal medicine. And if you know any Oriental medicine, herbal medicine is the key, right? And people are still trying to combine herbal medicine with the modern medicines, pills and molecules, and it's not going to happen. This is the wrong way. You will never try to analyze all the, chemical components of any herbal medicine, trying to reproduce it. This is just so wrong. And the magic of herbal medicine is a divine gift. It's not a laboratory product. And our faculties, and they discover herbal medicine by telepathy, by communicating with those herbs. And this is how they're discovered. They're not screening a bunch of them and analyze them. No. So that month we will have a faculty to talk all about it. So the next one is focusing on the ninja shift. So our trainees will get super clear about why things either taking so long or so hard. And we've been working hard always to trying to, get our goals accomplished, and always feel like it's taking forever and it's so hard, right? And we will learn how to deliberate, create, and instant manifest in terms of self-healing and healing others, right? And after this training, trainees will be able to deliberate, create, and manifest their own goals. During this month of retreat, we will have people focus on workshop on hypnosis, the second part of hypnosis. And we were talking about time travel. And the next month, the 8th month, we call it Emotion Master. The trainees will get super clear about why they experience emotional roller coaster in their life. And sometimes we just lost control of our emotions, and we regret all the decisions and actions we take when we're in that state. So trainees will learn how to masterfully use emotion as a divine GPS for their life navigation, and also for communicating with their patients when they are going through their roller coaster of their emotions. And you will no longer get stuck in any negative emotion after this training. So on that month of retreat, we were focusing on intuitive medicine part 1. The next month is we focus on judgment and allowing. And trainees will get super clear about why they experience bias reduction in medical practice. And this is another fancy word about what we're talking all globally right now, about justice, racism. And it's not what so superficially we're trying to resolve. And this is about our own internal journey of judgment and allowing. So especially in the medical practice and healings. And after this training, you will be able to analyze and assess any situation without being judgmental. So you still can analyze, but not judgmental. And in that month, we will have a retreat focused on intuitive medicine part 2. So the next step is about expansion and embodiment. So you will get super clear about why we often feeling hard to breathe, right? And in many situations right now, and people cannot breathe, whether it's a viral infection, whether it's a argument, whether it's a confusion, like political or natural confusion and physical confusion, and you will feel expansive, like your lung is expanding. And our physical expansion is always linked to our emotional and spiritual expansion. So that month we'll talk all about that. And after that, you will feel very expansive, your forwardness and detached, and strive to become your best version without any limitation in all parts. And during that retreat, that month retreat, we will talk about heart math. And we always talk about conscious about our brain, but our heart is a big deal, bigger deal than what our brain is. And we will talk about heart math and the inner balance. And the next one is talk about dimension. This month is also a big month. And this is where we really have a leap from the linear world to a multidimensional world. And we will, all the trainings will get clear of why most people get so confused and feel limited in the modern medicine practice, and how to get clarity as a multi-dimensional being. After this training, you will have the view changed, expanded, and no longer get confused by the limited three-dimensional time and space view of disease, of all the issues around disease. So that month's training, we will focus on multidimensional healing. We have many faculties are very good at that. So the last month, and really we're reaching to a goal, you're becoming the medicine Jedi, is the invincibility. And after that, you will know why people feel vulnerable to sickness themselves, right? And we, like, all these fear around being sick and getting old and getting, dysfunctional our body, all this fear will be gone, and you will become invincible mentally, immunologically, and physically. After this training, you will be, very immune to various chronic disease and infections, and you will be the master of speedy and spontaneous recovery and healing. So in that month of retreat, we'll be talking about quantum biohacking. So those are the 12 steps and 12 months of learning and retreat. So what does our weekend retreat look like? So you will arrive to a location, mostly in New England area. We will have different beautiful locations for that. After your work, you probably arrive like around 6 o'clock, and you will do registration and, relaxing yourself. And at 7 o'clock, we have dinner together, and we have orientation and moonlight yoga on the beach or beautiful place. And then you can go to sleep. The next day, you will have a sunrise yoga and breakfast, and then we have a morning session, and you will be led by our faculties on all, each of those topics we mentioned. And then we will take a break, in this beautiful surroundings, and we will do a small group, like cooking demos and hands-on practicing. And after lunch, we'll do a nap and meditation and afternoon activity and session. And then we have to have a break and sunset yoga. Just imagine how beautiful that is. And then we will have, small group together for dinner, and then we have fireside chat. And then you go to bed. For the next day, we have sunrise yoga, breakfast, morning session, and a break. After the lunch, we'll go departure. So it's like just a weekend, beautiful place. You get away from all your chaos life. Put them aside and really soak yourself into it. When I talk to a lot of physicians, the first reaction they have is like, no, I don't have time to go out every month. But think about it. If you cannot even take one weekend to really give it to yourself, you have nothing left to give yourself and give others. You will be stressed out, and this is really getting you to set up a new routine of your life. It's your new life. You have to take that time off and putting down everything and just give yourself to do that. So who should apply to this program? And if you're the healthcare or biomedical research area, if you feel destined to help other people, if you find yourself seeking true healthcare, not just disease management, if you start to see the intrinsic crisis of the current medical and research system, if you're someone like to challenge the doctrine, thinking out of the box, if people have been calling you a dreamer, then you definitely should come. And if you always want to explore the metaphysical realm, definitely you want to come. And if you're starting, like Deborah mentioned earlier, if you are starting to experience a synchronicity in your life, you want to further expand that. And if you look back in your life, you always have what you needed. That's a very strange thing, right? A lot of people do not realize that. And they always think, I don't have time, I don't have money. But looking back, you always have things you needed to what you want. And if you have gut feelings and knowing things that others think you're crazy, like Deborah mentioned earlier, you know, those intuitive things, you know, your phone rings and you psychically know who is on the other side before they speak, right? And if you're skeptical, but you're open and always curious about paranormals, and if you feel any of those, you should apply to this program. So, okay, I do not want to take more time and if you want to know all the faculties, we have website and YouTube channels. We'll, you know, let you, some of you already met some of our faculties. And I also have almost all our faculties are very intuitive, into the intuitive medicine. And they all coming from the medical background. And they all trained through the Western medicine system, but they also, like what your books is about, like really embracing their psychic gifts, their intuitive medicine, and becoming really a bridge between the old structure and the future medicine. And this is really what our program is all about. So I leave the rest 15 minutes to answer any questions you have.